Let's actually start making the game. First, add a rig in the workspace. Delete its body parts except these four. Name the rig VR character. Create a model and name it VR model. Create a part and name it primary part. Set cast shadow to false and transparency to 1. Set size to 1. Remove primary parts collisions. Select the VR model and set its primary part to the primary part. Create another part and name it left origin. Set cast shadows to false. Set size's dimensions to 1. Remove its collisions. Create an attachment in left origin and name it to mesh attachment. Duplicate the left origin and name the duplicated part right origin. Minimize the VR character's children and parent it to the replicated storage. Create another rig and name it exactly starter character. In its humanoid, scroll down and disable automatic scaling. Remove all the body parts except the humanoid root part. Parent starter character to the starter player folder. Now that we have overwritten the character, let's test our changes. As you can see, the player is now invisible, basically having no body. But the camera is still not in first person. It's still following the invisible player in third person. To fix this, we're going to use code. But before writing code, let's make some collision groups in the collision groups editor for the player. Create a collision group called dummy. Make it not collide with itself in default. Also, if you're wondering, we can manually set a parts collision group through the collision group properties. But for this project, we're going to use code. Back in the workspace, create a folder and name it Player Folder. Create another folder in it and name it Dummy Characters. In the replicated storage, create another folder and name it Remotes. Inside it, create a remote event and name it Character Finished Loading. Now, in the server script service, create a script and name it Server Script. Delete the print statement and reference these variables. Add a Player Added event and clone the VR character with its primary part anchored. For each child in the dummy character, change its collision group to dummy. Check if the character has a parent. Then fire the character finished loading remote event. Let's add a module script. In the starter player character, add a module script and name it player module script. In the script, change the module variable to player module. Reference the dummy characters folder. Add in the following code to reference the dummy character and its VR model. Back at Starter Player Scripts, create a local script inside and name it VR Local Script. Remove the print statement and reference these variables. Also, initialize the camera, player module, player folder, and a VR render step that we will use later. Next, create a function to initialize the character. Reference the character to the player module. We'll use the head position to calculate the vertical offset of where the head is. In the VR render step, set the camera's C-frame to the character's primary part with the head position as the vertical offset. We'll use the camera's getRenderC-frame function to get the C-frame of the client-side camera. Let's call it when the character finished loading remote event fires. Let's test our code. In the viewport, open the emulators and then press test. Now, when you look down, you will be able to see your torso and a little bit of your head. The torso also follows and rotates with the camera, but since the camera is supposed to be the head, let's remove it on the client side. In the VR local script, go to the onCharacterAdded function and destroy the head after calculating the head position. Now, when we test again, the head can no longer be seen by the player. It looks like we are looking through the head as if it were its eyes. Let's exit test mode and close the emulators. Go to the player folder and create a folder in it. Name it Server Characters. Before we code, let's also hide the VR character, because the code we will write needs the VR character hidden first. In the server script, reference the Server Characters folder. In the Player Added event, clone the VR character to act as our server character. But this time, set anchor to false and set its network owner to the player. In the player module script, let's add functions to align the server character with the client's VR character. In the VR local script, since attachments get removed when the player spawns, we'll use a function to create an attachment later. Now, create a function to use the two functions we created so it's easier for us to attach objects. Now, let's reference the server characters folder. With that variable prepared, go to the character added function and attach the server character's torso to the VR character. Let's test our code. Set up the emulators and press the test button. In test mode, we can see the character jittering. But what's really happening is that we see two characters. This is because the server character is visible in the client's perspective. Fortunately, when you go to the server view, you can see the server character. And if we move, the server character follows. Let's stop test mode and make the server character invisible to the client. In the VR local script, add a for loop that finds every base part or mesh part in the server character. Once it finds a part, the code will set that part to be invisible. Now, when we test again, the server character's body is invisible to the client, but in the server view, the character is visible. But if you noticed earlier, a floating face follows the player. That's because the face is not a part, so it didn't turn invisible. We can fix this by making the face always rotate away from the camera. Since the face is a decal, it can only be seen from the front view. If we always make the face rotate according to the camera, the face will not render to the player. Let's try this with some code. First, in the VR local script, reference the server character's head. Then, under our for loop, insert this code. The code will create a part for our server head to attach to. In the VR render step, make the head dummy copy the camera render C-frame. Now, in the server script, reference the server character's head and destroy its neck. We'll be doing this so the head can freely move using our code. Now, when we test again, the face cannot be seen. And when checking the server view, you can see the head's vertical rotation has changed. It is now looking down just like our camera in the client view. However, the head is leaning forward a bit too much. To fix this, let's stop test mode and in the VR local script, after the head dummy is created, adjust the server torso attachment C-frame so the server torso can be moved forward. Finally, after adding all of those changes, you should see the head positioned neatly on top of the torso, rotating with the camera.